Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in studio, Coffee Spill Ed.
It'll dry.
It'll dry, yes. I'm sure you'll see through it. So, well, welcome aboard, and thanks for tuning in to catch the drift. And what we do every Saturday is go over the news I put on the dailydrift.com. And if you're not going there, you should. It's the news you need to know. You can catch that at www.thedailydrift.com. Let's take care of a little business, though, before we get into the meat of the show here. It's boat show season, right?
Yeah,
started today.
Boat.
And I used to always go to the boat show. Just a dream, you know. But
my dream is to get my boat in the water this year, actually.
I'm just hoping mine will run when I get it in the water. But Claves Marina, go to clavesmarina.com, Klaves marina.com. You can reach them at 734-426-4532. They already have their boat show special pricing going on. So get your butt out there. They're in on Portage Lake, as I recall, in the Pinckney area there. And very easy, actually, to get to. They're just south of M36. Head down. I can't remember the name of the road there. But a great marina. They got some really awesome boats. Get out there and get some special pricing from the boat show there. clavesmarina.com. Klaves, or call them 734-426-4532. And if you think about pontoon boats like you used to, like my old gnarly pontoon boat, the new pontoon boats, man, they look awesome. They're like something right out of a science fiction novel. I mean, they're huge, and they move fast now. You can ski behind them and everything else. So they're a pretty awesome place to get a boat. Go to Claves Marina, and they take care of you, too. It's a good place.
It's never too early to get your boat ready to go in the water. You don't want to wait till that first sunny day and then find out it won't start.
Yeah, the ice is going to break early this year. Mark my words. So call Claves Marina, get in there and check it out. Well, the first thing we wanted to talk a little about, I know we're going to talk Ninth Circuit Court. We're going to talk about all this craziness going on with the courts and Trump's alleged travel ban and everything else. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about protests. Matt covered it last week, and we didn't because we already had an agenda laid out. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it. And you know, it's just reached that point in society, you know, where is the level of civilized behavior gotten to where people can go out and protest and break windows and assault people and spray them with pepper spray. And I'm not talking about the cops. I'm talking about the protesters, right? And we saw it on the news yesterday. Betsy DeVos, right? She passed the confirmations. Look, she's been legally put into place. And these protesters show up, and they're complaining and trying to keep and assaulting her. Frankly, you know, when you're pushing somebody, that's called assault, right?
You saw the video, right?
The video's out there. And, you know, give the woman a chance and let her get to work before you start assaulting. Number one, you're never allowed to assault. And that's your right to protest ends where you start to violate somebody else's rights. It's that simple. Whether that's their property or whether it's their own physical well-being, you certainly don't want to do that. And Berkeley, of course, has always been the place where protests, it's the birth of protests, right? Vietnam War and a lot of other stuff that went on. And it's just hard to believe that people have allowed their civilized behavior to degenerate to this point. And I wanted to do a little flashback. Today we're going to do a few flashbacks. Hey, Linda, how are you?
Yeah, have a seat.
You can't sneak in here and not say hello. At least say hello. There you go. So, hey, Derek, I wanted to play. This is going to take you back to Ronald Reagan when he was governor of California and these riots in Berkeley. The first one started, right? You got that track ready, Derek? This is Ronald Reagan talking after he called in the National Guard. Go ahead and play that.
Those people told you for days in advance that if the university sought to go ahead with that construction, they were going to physically destroy the university. Now, why did you
negotiate many times?
Negotiate? What is to negotiate? What is?
The university is a public institution.
That's right. But the university,
for its own community and for the community of Berkeley that live around it.
All of it began the first time some of you who know better and are old enough to know better let young people think that they had the right to choose the laws they would obey as long as they were doing it in the name of social protest.
All right. And it doesn't get any clearer than that, right? This is what the universities have failed. You know, they're literally failing to teach kids common decent behavior, for crying out loud. You want to protest? That's fine. Do your sit-in? That's fine. Breaking windows, hitting people with sticks, spraying people down, violating other people's rights is no way to protest. That's not a peaceable. And doggone it, this should be taught at the high school and elementary level. Peaceable protest. That's where you speak up against authorities or people you don't like, and you peaceably state your opinion, right?
In the past, in the 60s, the protesters were egged on by agents provocateurs, by, basically radicalized students who were, in some cases, they were actually motivated by Communist Party affiliation, SDS. And so you had this hardcore group pushing the protesters. Now they have grown up to be the professors and instructors today who are actually doing the encouraging of their students. So it doesn't even take an outside force anymore. It's the very faculty.
Yeah, they're giving them extra credit, right, in class to show up and protest. And the more violent they get, the better the grade they get.
And give them excuses to get out. You can leave and go protest. I'll cover your grade.
Yeah. Let's take a call from Joe in Wyandotte. Wants to talk about Betsy DeVos. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Good to hear from you again. I wanted, to call about DeVos and Ninth Circus, because you have that on thedailydrift.com. I do look.
The news you need to know.
Yep, absolutely. It's definitely a great resource. Hey, skip Drudge, go to thedailydrift.com.
Well, thanks, Joe. Awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
The check is in the mail.
I mean it when I say that. I don't touch Drudge anymore these days. But what you were just saying about the violence, since today was the protest Planned Parenthood, I pray everyone was safe from the left-wing nutjob, violent left-winger pro-baby killers that were going to be out there and counter-protest, because, we can't and can never know when they'll leap to violence at a moment's notice for no reason. But with DeVos, I think it's a very important point to make. Why is this? It's about school choice. The Democrats, and you follow me on Twitter, so you know I spelled Democrats not with a C, but with a KKK there for the appropriate reason. In the 60s, the Democrats blocked schools to prevent black children from going to certain schools. The school choice of the time. The Democrats of today are no different. They are blocking schools, blockading Betsy DeVos and Republican efforts to provide school choice to black children.
Yeah, it doesn't get any simpler than that, Joe. That's a dead-on great comparison, because you know what? That is a fact. I mean, it's easy for these white kids that are showing up protesting and saying whatever they want. I think it's already, there was the last research poll I saw showed that like 58% of African-American parents in the inner city want school of choice, because they're tired of their kids being stuck in these bureaucratic institutions that are not taking care of the children. They're taking care of the teachers' union or whatever else is going on. The money's not being spent. They're not competing the way they should.
It was one of the first things that Obama did when he came to power, was in Washington, D.C., which is a federal enclave. It's governed by the federal government. And he shut down school of choice.
Yeah,
the first thing he did, and there was some protest there from the black community that cared to have their kids in there.
Yeah.
And to tie to the first two together, most blacks are pro-life, but yet they keep voting Democrats. And thank God for programs like the Abolitionist Roundtable that you guys have on Wham on Saturday mornings. Well, that's 8 o'clock, right? And Just Joshua on Sundays. And hopefully we can finally reach more people and get this going. And then the other thing is the Ninth Circus. They are overturned like 80% of the time.
Yeah, 86%, Joe.
Got to be disbanded. Joe. They create work for all the other courts who endlessly have to hear the appeals to overturn their liberal activist judicial rulings. Lawlessness.
Joe, do you think that they may actually overturn themselves this time? They're going en banc, that they've realized that maybe other heads have prevailed on that on that court. I think there's 11 members. Only 3 were used in this case, and the rest of them are going to review it now and see if maybe a mistake wasn't made.
Well, if Sessions can get in there and find a real sub-AG in the department who will earnestly argue the position properly rather than the Obama holdovers, the lifelong liberals that have been in the bureaucracy forever that are always there and undermine any Republican administration. If we could get somebody who understands and will argue that 100 cases have occurred of terrorism-related events or charges in some convictions from people of those 7 countries, that it is a valid and lawful order on the merits of the president having that authority explicitly as given to him by Congress. The court does not have it is not in their purview to make law and overstep the chief executive in this manner. And who knows, a miracle may occur, and you may be right. The whole body may wake up and say, look, we're overturned 80%. We're going to be overturned. Everyone's looking at us. Maybe we have to get one right for a change.
Yeah. Well, Joe, it's the Congress's job, and it's their job. It's not even the executive's job. It's the Congress's job to establish the courts. And so we have an opportunity here now to actually break up the ninth.
Don't go too far.
So, Joe, hang on.
You're jumping the gun on me. Doggone it, you guys are always pushing the program, aren't you?
Well, if I didn't have coffee spilled all over my notes, I'd have read that. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, Joe, great comments, man, as always. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Take care, my friends. Love you guys.
You too. Bye. Take care. Let's take a call from Jimmy in Manchester. Jimmy, go ahead.
Hey, it's McGregor Road.
Ah, that's it. McGregor, yes. Thank you very much, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Right off of Dexter Pinckney between that and M36 right
Don't
here.
let the liberals know where you live.
So, Jimmy, before you go, I've spent part of inauguration weekend, and we talked with some of the protesters, and oddly enough, we got the same kind of response that you're going to hear right here from many of the protesters. Derek, you got track 2 ready. This is the kind of response you get from these crazy kids that are out destroying property and getting violent and getting angry. Go ahead and play it.
We hate Trump, and we want to make a change.
How are we going to do it?
We want that.
I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
We hate Trump, and we want to make a change.
How are we going to do it?
We want that.
I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
We hate Trump.
I had to throw that in there. I ran across that today, and I was like, oh, my, isn't that crazy? It's just, come up with if you're going to get out and protest, I'm all for it. Be able to explain yourself in clear, concise terms. You know what I mean? Saying I hate Trump doesn't do anything for anybody, including your own arguments.
Well, the people that were violent at Berkeley were clearly not the students there. These were trained professional people that came in. They were paid for, bought and paid for. I saw a thing on YouTube. It's down now. You cannot find it anywhere, where they beat a woman. This woman wasn't doing anything. She didn't have anything to do with any of it. She was just walking across this bridge. And you know how bridges have, like, chain link fence there, so you can't throw things off or jump off or whatever. And they got her up against this fence, and they were beating her with clubs, and they got her down. They were kicking and stomping her just because she was white. And they were all white. And they were screaming, no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA, while they were acting like complete fascists.
Yes, that's exactly what they've turned it completely on its ear, and they have now become the fascists that they're railing against. It's crazy.
And with California restricting personal gun rights, tell you what,
crazy.
Yeah, I know. And they call Trump Hitler or fascist. Hey, Donald Trump's a lot of things, but Hitler, a fascist. I mean, come on.
Yeah, these people resemble These people resemble the brown shirts. That's who these people resemble. You know.
Yeah.
All right. That's right.
Yeah. Great calls, Jimmy. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you. And it's good talking with you again.
You too, brother. We've missed you,
Jimmy. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Derek, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to start talking a little bit about some of the craziness and where these kids are getting it from. We'll see you on the other side of the break here.